All right, welcome back, everybody. In part 4 of our legal series with Andrew Clark from O'Reilly Law Offices, we're going to take a different little tack, and I actually want to take this from a more positive standpoint, right? And sometimes we think about legal and lawsuits, and it's all on the downside. But I think we can take this conversation from a much more positive tone. So if I am planning my estate with my family, wills, all those things, I want to have somebody that I trust. Mm-hmm. Okay. If my small business is going well, I'm making money, I'm generating profits, the business is growing, whether it's from a location standpoint or just from a revenue standpoint, I want to be able to have someone that I can trust to go back and ask questions and get really good answers and get specific information coming back from them. So let's focus on the growth aspect of it. Most of the people I speak with from a small business ownership standpoint, when it comes to growth and hiring, they want to outsource the jobs that they don't want to do. Accounting. Mm-hmm. Legal can come into that. Maybe some web design comes into that. But I think when we look at the landscape of hiring today, there's so many options that are out there. You could do freelance work. You could be an independent contractor. Some people want to hire only employees, right? So from that standpoint, if we're looking to facilitate our growth, what are some of the things that we should be considering when bringing someone else onto our business?
Yeah, so the main things that I see my clients struggling with are, as humans, we're very, very bad at giving up control.
We are.
We're bad at giving up control in an estate planning scenario of even once I'm gone, I want to control where my money goes and how it's used.
That's true.
And the same thing applies to businesses. We quickly realize that there are jobs that either we don't have the skill set to do or we don't have the time to do. And we want someone else to do that, but it's very easy for us to say, I want you to do it exactly how I would have done it. And I want you to do it in this rigid structure. And so sometimes people get themselves into trouble because a W-2 employee sounds great, but there are certain risks associated with that. As far as, you have an employee that you have wage and hour issues with potentially. You have, tax compliance issues on. So then you say, okay, well, that sounds difficult. Maybe I'll go with a 1099. A 1099 independent contractor is going to be doing things more at their leisure, however they want to do it. The tax and compliance issues for the employer are a little bit down, but you still have to comply with the requirements for an independent contractor because the government doesn't care what you call it. The government cares about how you treat it.
Oh, okay.
And so, when you're thinking about bringing somebody on, you need to make sure that the structure is clear, that the person who's being brought on understands what capacity they're being brought on, and as a result, how much control you either have or are relinquishing to that person to do that work.
And I know I've heard you use the term before, scope of duties, mm-hmm. right? And so maybe sitting down with a lawyer prior to going through this hiring process is good, just to create a list of what this person is going to be doing, and after you get that all-inclusive look or third-party perspective of the situation, then maybe you can go forward with the type of hire you want to pursue.
Yeah, absolutely. The more clear you can be about what the person is going to be doing and determine how much control you need to have over how they're doing it, that may be a deciding factor on whether you can make them a 1099 or if you're running a huge risk of misclassifying that employment relationship, which could create all sorts of issues down the line if you end up having a 1099 that you're treating as a W-2.
Okay.
So the more proactive you can be on the front end with your tax advisor, with your legal counsel, and with your accounting or your projections team, is going to be able to determine what do you need, what can you afford, and how do you structure that to protect your business, even through non-compete, non-solicitation, non-disclosure agreements, all of those sorts of things that are going to protect the training dollars that you're putting in to whoever that employee or contractor is.
It's your most valuable resource.
Absolutely.
People. So what I boil this down to, and I'm going to spin this all the way back to the beginning, find somebody you trust, right? Find somebody who's able to kind of take that third-party perspective, go through all the different outcomes that could be possible, and then you guys can make a decision at that point in time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. The quicker you can establish that trusting relationship, the easier it's going to be, because when you need to hire quick.
Absolutely.
And the last thing you want to do is spend a week shopping attorneys or shopping accountants or whoever you need to shop for to feel comfortable making that decision. If you've already got those relationships established, you have that trust factor, then you're going to be able to act much quicker and hopefully not lose that key potential employee.
Awesome. Great advice. All right, so this is Andrew Clark from O'Reilly Law Offices. I want to thank him again for helping us through this growth process, and we'll see you again for the next run. Thanks, guys.